So that they taught me how to discern what's in the research. And so when I got cancer, and all these people were sending me alternative things, Lorraine Day and Simonchini and all these guys, and, Gerd Hamer and all these alternative people, I researched it. I looked it up. And what I found was that they're using testimonials, but not research. And a lot of people will say, well, that's because nobody will fund their research. And to that I say, no, because if you look at what's going on at MD Anderson, which is a top conventional medical facility.
It's like the Mayo Clinic, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's one of the top places in the country. Everybody in Houston with cancer, go there and get a second opinion. Seriously, they're wonderful. But you've got people there like Dr. Bharat Agrawal, who is researching curcumin. And they're making no money off of that. I interviewed him on my radio program, KMAshow.com, and I asked him, how is it that you are being able to do this when everybody's telling us that they know the cure for cancer, but they don't want you to have it because they want you to die and they want to give you chemotherapy so they can make money off of you. And I asked him, why is it that MD Anderson is funding research into something that you can buy a pound of for like $200?
For nothing.
For nothing. And he said, they're doing it because the head of research at MD Anderson that I work with says, I don't care who makes money off of it. If it cures cancer, we are going to test it, we are going to learn about it, and we're going to do it.
Are they seeing any positive results?
Curcumin, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Christian Weil told us 3 years ago on this program that turmeric, which, curcumin is in turmeric,
right,
that it is a wonder supplement herb for inflammation, for your heart arteries, for fighting certain cancers, and nobody listened to him.
See, and now they're showing it in the laboratories, and that's what's amazing. Bharat Agrawal he's got a new book out called Healing Spices. You ought to get him on the show. He's a fascinating guy.
I'll get him on with you.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Set it up.
I'd love to. So Healing Spices is his book, and it's a beautiful book. It's hardback. It's got recipes, but it goes through all of the Indian spices. He's from India.
You also know we did it, and not that I'm going to toot our horn, but we did put you on the prayer list.
I know.
And I think that's pretty darn powerful. I have seen some incredible results with this.
Bless you. I know it's prayer. I know it's prayer because there was a time last year when I was it could have gone either way. And I could feel those prayers. I could feel them, George, pulling me along and lifting me up and guiding me through that last year of darkness. I could feel them. It works. It works. There is a God, folks, absolutely. And if somebody can go through stage 3C cancer and all the treatment I've been through and look you in the eye after all of that trial and say, absolutely, there's a God, then, it's one thing if you say it when you're on top of the world.
What are your doctors saying right now?
Well, they are blown away at how well my body has handled the chemo. And this is what I want to get into. And I know I want to...
And by the way, I think we crushed your radio show website.
Did we?
Uh-huh.
All right, well, I've got people standing by, so we'll get it fixed during this next break.
Tell those people that even our webmaster can't get through.
Oh, my gosh. All right, well, we'll bring that KMAshow.com. And by the way, I just want to throw this out there. One of the things I want to talk about is Coriolis mushroom, which is...
What kind of mushroom is that?
Well, I'm a mushroomer. And my husband and I have been...
That's dangerous. If you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
But luckily we do. We live in the greatest time to be alive.
We go out, we forage, and we know what to look for. And
we are learning all the things we knew already.
Taking pictures. You're not going to eat these things, but we've been into mushrooms for years. And one of the problems with chemotherapy, and here's kind of how I integrated the conventional with the alternative. One of the problems with chemotherapy, which is life-saving treatment for a lot of women, and hopefully for me, is that it's debilitating. So there's a lot of people that want to do it.
The healthy
one of the
and the
things
bad.
that chemotherapy can really undermine is your immune system. And people say, well, why would you want to undermine your immune system when you're fighting cancer? Well, you do it because it shrinks and melts away tumors. They're doing something called neoadjuvant.
Yeah, by the way, he said Lex says it's okay. I don't want to interrupt you. But
I'm glad we're back. Good. Thank you. So they're doing a thing. I didn't get this. They cut the tumor out of me and then they gave me chemo. But a lot of women nowadays with breast cancer get something called neo, which means new adjuvant, means alongside chemo. And what they're doing is they're giving them chemo while the lump is still in them. And the chemo shrinks away and dissolves the lump into nothing. It happens to virtually every woman who gets neoadjuvant chemo. Standard mainstream chemotherapy, the tumors shrink away and vanish. So we know it works. All right, that's the first thing. Chemotherapy absolutely does work. It destroys tumors. But here's the key. But at what cost, right?
What else does it take with it?
Exactly. And so as people have these side effects from the conventional therapy, that's what they're monitoring. And there's one thing that the doctors will always look at, which is how is your immune system holding up? And so every time I would have chemotherapy, and I had 8 full rounds of chemotherapy, and I'm having 17 of a different chemotherapy drug, so I'm having tons of chemo. When, after every round of it, they take a blood test and they look at your white blood cell count, which is a measure of your immune system. And it takes a huge hit after chemo. So they give you these $3,000 shots called Neulasta, which are very expensive. And the insurance companies are all paying for this, raising all our premiums, etc. But
hold on for a second, Catherine. Already at the break. Quick. I'm George Norrie, back in a moment on Coast to Coast AM. Read them.
All right, now hopefully George is not going to do what he does from time to time and completely change the subject, or at least the road that we're on, and she doesn't get back to what she was about to say, because that was actually happens all the time. She's right, whoever the guest is right in the middle of their point, and just about, it's like right before the punchline. They're getting right up to the climax of the story, and then, oh, it's break time, and then we come back, and, oh, yeah, well, what about, he'll ask a question and totally throw the subject off. But in any case, I hope you're enjoying this. I know I am. I'm just looking up a bunch of big books. I'm going to show people tremendous books that, and this is a small area. But I can show you the information on there. That's proprietary information. But it is a tremendous, I don't know if you can see it, it's tremendous. It's a big guy. And then you go through all these different numbers, and you look up all these different pages, and you see what the where the cables run, and if it's in the ground, then I have to find it and paint it. I am Michelangelo, and now I do paint for a living. So sometimes things come around. But in any case, if you're interested, I'm probably going to see how my battery's doing and record the next segment, because I'm going to be looking up stuff for a while, and as long as the road is wet, there's nothing I can do, because you can't paint wet roads. So I hope you're enjoying the last day of, it is the last day of January, right? No, actually, today is the first day of February. Okay. So I hope you're enjoying February 1st, the first day of Black History Month, and the second month of the year, 2012. So if you didn't hear the last couple of episodes, there was a CME that had come off the sun that last week, that if it were a little bit more directed at us, or a little bit more powerful, or both, we would add some issues, and everything that works on electricity might not work anymore. And if it's big enough, like the one that went off after it, that luckily had passed us, the sun rotates, and the rotation had just passed us, and the biggest flare that we've seen in quite a while, an X2, went off. And it, I know it's a shitty angle, sorry. An X2 went off, and the X2 would definitely give us some serious issues. We've had like an X1, I think, last year. I think that's what set off the tsunami. But in any case, it was right around the tsunami. But an X2 would seriously have at least affected satellites, communications, probably a little more. But, all this talk about the aurora borealis, that's the gamma rays getting through. And the more they get through, the more they affect everything, including us. We're a battery, we have a charge, we are water with electricity running through it. So, we're all part of it. In any case, enjoy the rest of the story. Here it goes.